Hi, thanks for using my court coach. I'm Sarah and I'll be your instructor today as we discuss the Joint Legal Custody Attachment, also known as Form FL-341E. As with all our court forms, you want to fill in your identifying case caption information at the top. Below that, because this is not a standalone form and it is typically attached to other forms, you want to identify what forms you're attaching it to. It could either be part of your petition or response if you want the court to make these orders as part of the overall orders that you're requesting through your petition or response. It can be as part of a temporary order if you want to attach it to your request for order or responsive declaration to request for order with any other relief that you're requesting through that request for order. It can be attached to and is most commonly attached to a formalized order after hearing or judgment, or it could be as part of a written agreement between the parties. It can also be attached to a juvenile custody order or any other documents, in which case you would mark the other box and identify what documents you're attaching it to. For instance, you could attach it to a trial brief as an exhibit. What is joint legal custody? Joint legal custody refers to the ability of the parties to make decisions jointly regarding the education, health, and welfare of their children. It is a pretty common order for the courts to order joint legal custody. And so in field number 1, this box has you identify which party has legal custody. If it's petitioner, you would mark petitioner. If it's respondent, you mark respondent. Most likely, though, it is going to be joint, in which case you would mark petitioner and respondent. Field number 2 has you specify beyond just health, education, welfare. There's specific orders that you want regarding making legal decisions for the children, such as enrollment in or leaving a particular private or public school or daycare center, the beginning or ending of psychiatric, psychological, or other mental health counseling or therapy for the children, participation in extracurricular activities, selection of a doctor, dentist, or other health professional except in emergency situations, participation in particular religious activities or institutions, out of country or out of state travel. If there's any of those specific items that you either want to have ordered or that have been ordered, you would mark the box identifying those orders. If it's other, if there's something else that is not specifically identified above, you can mark the box other and list next to it what it is specifically you either want ordered or that was ordered. Box number 3 talks about penalties for not following court orders. This is pretty standard stuff, and that's why it's written in that if a party does not follow court orders, he or she may be subject to civil or criminal penalties or both, and that the court may change the legal and physical custody of the children. If there are any other specific penalties the court orders or that you would like them to order, you would mark C and describe what that is. Field number 4 has orders regarding decision-making, designation, and access to children's records. 4B, this is just a standard court order that both parties have the right to access records and information about their minor children, so that's why that's already written in. If there is a specific issue that the court only grants one party the ability to make decisions about, then that party would be identified and what they can make decisions pertaining to is identified as well. Again, if it's both parties, you just mark both boxes for petitioner and respondent. Field number 5 has orders regarding healthcare notification. If the court makes an order that each party must notify the other of doctors that examine their children and the number of days that notification must be made in, then you would mark this box and fill in the number of days required. If the court orders that either party may get emergency health care for the children, and that is a pretty common order, by the way, you would mark box 5B and 5C. If there's an issue with the children being administered their medications properly and the court wants to make that an order, or you're requesting them to make that an order, you would mark box 5C. Field 6 has to do with school notification. If the court orders or you're asking them to order that each party will be designated as a person the children's school will contact in an event of emergency, then you mark box 6. And box 7 has to do with the child's name. If the court needs to make specific orders about changing the child's last name or use of a child's name, what name the child is using, or if that's a request you're making, mark box 7. And then 8, as usual, the last box, other, is our catch-all box. If there's any other orders pertaining to legal decision making regarding the children that the court makes or that you're asking them to make, you would mark box 8. Again, this is a form that you would attach to another document, most commonly attached to a formalized order. I hope that you found this video helpful. Good luck.